Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 13 of the card making countdown, where I'm sharing a card making project to make with your Cricut every day for 14 days. A couple of years ago in the card making countdown, we created the easel cards that you can see on the screen now, and these were a big hit. It's been so nice over the last couple of years seeing all of the projects that you've created using these templates. So I thought this year, why not bring back an old favourite, but with a new twist. And so, it's not just an easel card today, it is a double easel card. These cards have 2 layers to the easel technique, so you can include even more pretty pictures on the front of your cards. There are 3 templates in here for you to add your own images, pictures, embellishments, toppers, whatever you want to. There's a square double easel card, a circular double easel card, and a hexagon double easel card. But I didn't just want to leave you with only the templates. Oh no, I wanted to do a pre-made card too. So as well as those 3 templates, today's download also includes a pre-designed card with a puppy and kitten theme. This is what it looks like, isn't it just the cutest little birthday card? So without any further ado, let's get started on our double easel cards. This project is part of the 2026 Card Making Countdown. Download the cut files for free for the first 24 hours after this video goes live using the links in the video description or by visiting craftwithsarah.com/cards26. After 24 hours, the cut files for this project can be purchased from craftwithsarah.com/cards26 files. Or get the entire card making countdown plus loads of extra bonus files from craftwithsarah.com/cards26 bundle. The download comes in a zip folder. You need to unzip this before uploading the SVG files into your cutting machine software. For instructions on how to do this, visit craftwithsarah.com/help and choose Cricut, Silhouette or Scan and Cut. Within there are dedicated help guides on topics such as how to upload SVGs, how to modify them to make custom projects, framing tips, and how to cut cardstock with your type of machine. If you have any questions, email hello@craftwithsarah.com. Now, on with today's project. This is what one of the blank templates looks like loaded into Cricut Design Space. This is the square template, but it will work the same if you're doing the circular or the hexagon one too, so you can follow along with these same steps for all 3. First, check the designs loaded in at the size it says in the green box at the top of the screen. For this one, it's 11 inches wide and 16 inches tall. I'll click the design, then go into size, and mine does match, so that's great. If yours doesn't, change it to match the correct measurements. Then ungroup the layers by pressing the Ungroup button at the top of the Layers panel. Click down into that rectangle with the size and delete it by clicking the trash can. We don't want to accidentally cut that out. I've chosen fairly random colours for this to show the different ways that you could do it. Your base card, this bit, and also the main shapes underneath all of the different side bits are done in the same colour, and I do recommend keeping that the same so that your base is all continuous in the colour. But then I've chosen different ones for the shape that goes on the back of the easel card and the smaller shape that goes towards the front, and then a third colour option for the stand that holds everything in place. This piece here is your message panel to go underneath the card. For my ones I've done in the demo, I've cut these bits from a patterned paper to show how that looks, but you can also add your own toppers, embellishments, stamps or anything you want, either before or after you get it cut out. You don't have to use 3 different colorways for each one, I just wanted to have lots of different patterns going on. You could make them all the same color by changing them in here for a little bit more consistency. So go ahead, change your colours and add all your embellishments, and then we'll do the formatting at the end. When you're ready to format, click on the main part of the design, which is this one here, and open up the group in the Layers panel. Click the first layer, which looks like 2 horizontal lines, and under the Operations menu, change it to Score. Click to select that whole group, so you can see now I've got the base and the score layer selected, and press Attach. Attach is what tells the Cricut we want it to do the scoring in that exact place. And then do the same for this piece up here. change it to score, click and attach. And that's all the formatting that's done, so this would then be ready to cut. When you're cutting out your cards, I recommend using quite a sturdy or heavyweight card for the main base structure pieces. Otherwise, you risk it not standing up. This is one I did when the design was being tested. It's the hexagon card, and my pink card that you can see here is very lightweight. It's not a thick card at all. And I found that it wasn't strong enough to hold the hexagons in place. It was just falling apart. Whereas this time I cut it with a much thicker card for the base, and this time it comes through and it stands up perfectly, exactly like it should. However, if you have cut one of the designs and you find that it isn't standing up, a nice little workaround was to cut a little strip of card. I did it in a different colour so it was easy to see, and just add a little tail on the back, and then when you're adding this bit on the front, which I will show you in the video, don't worry, don't add any foam squares right in the middle bit, and then you can tuck the tail under, and that helps hold it in place if it's not staying there by itself. So now that one does work, even though it does have that lighter weight card. If you're worried that whoever you give these cards to might not realise how they stand up when they take them out the envelope, don't worry, I've got you covered for that. Included in the download folder are these printable templates that show a little picture of the card, how it is propped up, with some instructions. So you can cut these out and put them in the envelope inside your card so that whoever you give it to knows how to display them. There's separate pictures for the circular one, the hexagon one, and the square one to make it really obvious so that you can match them with the exact card. Here are all the pieces of the square template cut out and ready to go together. We'll start up with the base. This is the side that the Cricut has scored on. With the fold in the middle of the card, we're going to bend that downwards and then turn it over, so it's almost like we've made a standard greetings card at this point. And then with the other score line, again fold that downwards to make another 10. So you'll end up with this kind of shape. Take the largest shape that you've got in the same colour as your base structure, and that will glue onto the front of the card like this, so it's overlapping. The glue I'm using is Barely Art glue, but I also like Halal. The reason I like these glues is they don't bend or wrinkle the card like some glues can do. Add the glue directly onto the front panel rather than on the back of the square or whatever shape it is you're doing, to make sure you don't accidentally put any glue outside of the area where it will be stuck. Then this will line up along the bottom. Then take your second structure piece, and we've got one side up here with a score line closer to the edge. We'll fold that upwards, making a valley fold, so it's V for valley. And then the other one, fold it the other way around, so this time the point comes upwards. This is a mountain fold. Add glue along that back tab, but don't go any further than the score line. And then this will glue to the back of the bit we've just stuck. Line that up along the score line, get it nice and straight. If I turn it this way, you can see how that's gluing on there. And this makes the second level of the easel. Fold it back round. And be careful you don't do what I just did, which was squidge it all up and then my glue popped off because it wasn't dry yet. Let's re-stick that. Okay, we'll give it a minute before we fold it up. Take your smaller shape and that will be glued onto the front here. For the square one, it goes all the way to the very edge, but for the hexagon and the circle ones, your front shape is a little bit smaller. Right, while that's all drying, we can stick our layers together. I've got my bigger square and then the pattern paper to go in the middle. This is the point where yours will deviate from mine, as you'll be adding your own decorations and things to your card. If you want some inspiration on how you might be able to decorate it, keep watching to see the puppy and kitten design after I've put together this one. So that's my main bit. Then I've got another bit here with my white for my message panel. This will go on the bottom. And there's my smaller one with a different pattern. This is what will go on the front shape. And then finally the bit that makes the stand at the front. Okay, time to start building. You could have stuck these on before building the structure, but I find it easier to do afterwards. This goes on the back part here with an even border of the base card, the purple showing all the way around the edges, and the same for the one on the front. We'll turn upside down to get the back shape for the message panel. I did not stick that on anywhere near straight. And then the stand for the front will be put on with foam squares, as we need this to have some height out so that it can hold the rest of the card in place. Foam squares look similar to this, although these ones are a little bit small, but you could just use more of them. These ones are 5 by 5, but I'll be using 10 by 10 millimeter. So we'll turn that over, add some foam squares. Another thing you can try if this isn't quite enough to hold your card in place is doubling up the layers of foam. So you'd put some bits on top to make it 2 foam squares tall, and that can also help if it's not quite strong enough to hold in place. There's no exact spot where you have to put this. You can decide how dramatic you want the angle to be of the different shapes. I'm going to go for around about there. And then that holds the front part in place to keep it all there. You might find when you've just made the card that your bottom bit, your back bit here, doesn't touch like it's supposed to, and it ends up looking a little bit like it's floating. Bend the card round so it's how it would be in the envelope. It will end up in that shape, all folding in. Give it a good push down. You could go over the lines, the score lines, with a brayer to help with this. The crisper the folds that we've got at this point, the better it will all stand up. If I try that now, it's now, if I can get it to turn around, it's now got the bottom bit almost touching directly up against that line like it should. This is especially noticeable for some reason, I don't know why, on the hexagon card. So if you're putting this one together, then you might find that it sort of goes upwards like this when you first make it, but closing it up and going over those lines then makes it hold itself in place. All of the card templates fold flat for posting to go in an envelope, and they look really nice when they come out the envelope because you've got the message on the back and it all folds down like this, and you'll have your little printouts to show you how to put it together, but then they go upright to look really unusual when they're on display. And there's the square one, and here's the circular one just to show you that one as well. Okay, so now we've done the blank templates, let's go back into Design Space and look at the pre-designed puppy and kitten card. This is what the puppy and kitten design looks like in Cricut Design Space. I included this one as a little bit of a helping hand to see the types of things you can do with the templates. Again, it's got a size box on the top, so we'll check that it's loaded in correctly, which this one has. Ungroup the layers, click into the size box and delete it. You can play about with the colours if you want to, or leave as is. We'll do the same formatting that we did on the other cards. Open up the two structure pieces, click on the lines, change them to score, select that whole group and attach, and then do the same for the shape on the top as well. There we go. Nice and easy. Then this is ready to cut. That didn't take very long at all. I've got everything cut out and I've already stuck most of the pieces together following the assembly guide that's included in the download folder. I used some foam squares to pop out the designs, but if you're worried about this getting too thick for postage, then you can glue all the pieces instead and it will be much flatter. Remember that when this is in the envelope, the bits go on top of each other, so it does end up fairly thick with the foam squares. A presentation box might be better than an envelope. You can get some free presentation box templates from the Foundation Learning section of this Craft Countdown. To find that, head to the schedule page, which is linked in the description of this video. Scroll down and you'll see the Foundation Learning section near the top of the page with the link to the boxes in there. There is also an envelope template too, which you can resize to fit any card. I've got those and my little happy birthday message to go at the front, and I've glued my message panel together too. First up, I've got my card. I've done the folds already, and this time, because I've already built up my side, I'm going to glue that on right now. Whereas before we had the blank shape and then I built up the whole card, then put on my pattern papers. This time it's a little different. Just goes to show how you can make the same kind of card in lots of different ways. You could even treat this as a regular easel card if you didn't want to add the second layer, and just do it like that with the dog. Okay, then I've got my second piece, the valley fold on the short tab and the mountain fold on the other one. Glue up to that first fold line and tuck that behind here. Then glue the kitten onto the front. Only add your glue up as far as that score line. Turn it upside down. Put the message panel on the back. And then foam squares on the back of the stand piece. I made this a bit bigger than the one on the blank template to fit on my happy birthday a little bit better. Fold that up, hold it out the way to add the happy birthday on there, and then that will hold that in place. I'm having that problem I was talking about where it's not quite sitting as it should. So we'll fold it up and now you can see how thick that is, especially down the bottom. Go over it. Get all those fold lines nice and crisp. Try again. And that is much better. Still coming out a little bit. I think it's probably because I added the foam squares, so I've made it all a lot heavier than it was just as the blank, and again a lot heavier than it would be if I'd just glued everything instead of the foam. It is holding it in place. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but perhaps a double layer of the foam squares under the happy birthday backing pieces might be better for this one. But as I said, I don't think that's actually going to move, and it's quite nice in a way that the cat is completely vertically upwards, and it means the dog's at more of an angle, so you can see it a little better. There it is, from a slightly better angle. So you see it's not quite touching, but it still isn't going to fall down, and it looks lovely. So you don't need to worry about how many layers you add on. I purposefully added loads and loads for this one so that I could really test out that it was still going to stand, which it does. So there we go, that's our double easel cards done, whether you've done the pre-designed one or you're creating your own with the blank templates. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to make double easel cards with your Cricut machine. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and card making fun. Tomorrow is the last day of the card making countdown for this year, day 14, but I really hope you will join me for the last day. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Bye!